What's up guys, welcome back. Today's video is one that I have been looking forward to for a very long time, as I am an absolute sucker for controllers. You know that I've reviewed dozens and dozens of controllers from just about every brand, shape, size and features, but there's a brand that just keep coming up with new stuff, PowerA. And today's video is about their newest lineup of products under the banner of Lumectra. A new controller and an integration with LED strips. Now that is something new in the market of sorts. So if you are interested in any of that, or if you're out there and still wondering, that Spectra Infinity Controller, does it still have a place in the market? You're at the right place. So without further ado, let's check out the Lumectra and Spectra controllers and LED strips by PowerA in today's video. Please enjoy. PowerA is no stranger to integrating LED lighting in their controllers. In fact, back in 2021, they launched the Spectra lineup of controllers for both Nintendo Switch and Xbox, the Spectra Infinity Controller. They're actually quite the same controllers function-wise and layout-wise, other than designed for a different platform. But you might have guessed it, the Spectra Infinity Controller comes with a few more extras really. It has the volume and mute dial, unique to this one. It has 3-way trigger logs at the backside for your L&R triggers. And it actually has a rumble feature, which the Nintendo Switch edition has not. Now, fast forwarding to 2023 brings us a whole new lineup of accessories in the Lumectra series. Unfortunately, at the time of recording at least, it's exclusive to the Xbox. No Nintendo Switch version, also not any PlayStation version. I'm looking at you, Nintendo and Sony. But at least there is the Xbox version, also compatible with Windows of course, and the big difference here, because I can see you sitting there wondering, so what's new? I see the same LED go all around and around the buttons, and sure, I mean, why? What is different? Well, in this case, there's an integration between a controller and an LED light strip. That's essentially what it boils down to. However, the controller has been revamped, has been brought up to speed, has been brought up to the new standards at PowerA, and in fact, it's actually a big upgrade. So I see you there, just stick with me. Stick with me. And what's more, in addition to this bundle, which features a controller and a 4-feet LED strip, there is also in that same Lumectra lineup of products an 18-feet strip, which comes with a remote control as well. So in today's video we're going to check out both of these, the entire family of Lumectra accessories, including the controller, the 4-feet LED strip, and the 18-feet LED strip. Alright, so let's start opening up this box. In fact, I have to tell you, you can buy this controller separately from the PowerA website, or you can buy it as, like I have in front of me, a bundle of the controller and a 4-feet LED strip. Black or white version. Now, you have the front side of the package, back side you have all sorts of information on how the colors work, the different zones, and of course the new PowerA Gamers HQ app, which also helps you set up the lights if you so choose to. And it even shows the little inline controller for the LED strips and, well, all that stuff. So I'm impatient. I already cut it open for you. So let's just open it up. Let's see what comes out. So taking it from the top, we first find our quick start guide. One that I would recommend you keep it somewhere safe. It has a full button layout, but you've all been there, you sure know what you're getting yourself into. It has an explanation on the 3-way trigger locks, the programmable buttons, and may I just pause the video for a moment here, because it has become so normal to expect features like 3-way trigger locks or programmable buttons to have that as a standard in controllers, but it is still not very much standard. It's still third party, it's still deluxe, it's still extra. So I just wanna leave a small reminder there that it's still really cool that those features are present in controllers of this magnitude. Sure, there's LED, but they still make sure that you have these bonus features as well. Okay, let's move on the show. Let's not get too melodramatic here. So, what is really useful to have here is that once you enter either the internal RGB LED control or the external RGB LED control, there is a completely new layout for your controllers, how to operate it, how to move through it, how to cycle through the controllers, all that stuff. So that's really good to have. And there's a quick setup on your RGB LED strip. The LED strip, I'm gonna open that up just in a moment. We have the cable, USB-C and USB-A. Just a bit. And there we are. Beautiful deep black controller. I love its first feel. It's the touch of the top surface is nice. It's really nice. It's hard plastic. It's textured. Yeah, I was just looking at it because the Spectra Infinity Controller is quite different. It's more of a satin finish. And the button seems to be very glossy. Like I said, brought up to new standards where PowerA has chosen to remove the coloring from the buttons. We've seen that in the Sonic controller. If you've missed that video, be sure to check it out. It's amazingly beautiful controllers, both for the Nintendo Switch and the Xbox. And then they put the little color reference in between the buttons there. Really nicely done. I like they did that. Of course, you have the anti-friction rings. You have good joysticks that I guess we're all familiar with. Well, certainly I am. The system buttons are there, the Xbox button. D-pad. We have our bumpers and our triggers. Here we have the 3-way trigger locks. Works all fine. And here we have the programmable buttons where you can set them up, the internal LED and the external LED. And at the bottom we have a port for your headphone set. All around, running around the controller, we have a strip for the LED, or at least where the light can come out, and we have the same setup around the 4 A, B, X and Y buttons, the D-pad and the 2 joysticks. Should be. There we go. And there we have, well, there's always something bound to go wrong on camera. Well, there we have, I was about to say, the LED strip. Here we have the little sensor. Your controller needs to be able to see this little eye wirelessly, obviously, to make sure it can change the light settings. Here we have the inline controller. It needs a USB power source. Well, that's easy enough. Alright, so we have one wire for its power source, one wire going up to the LEDs, and one wire which is connected to that sensor. It's a nice little setup. If we compare the Lumectra controller with the Spectra Infinity Controller, there's some interesting key differences here. Older version where they've colored the buttons, the newer version coloring in between the buttons, a satin finish, a very soft finish, whereas this is much more textured, much more hard top level. Volume, mute, dial, which for some reason the Lumectra controller doesn't have. I don't know why, as the external LED control button in addition to the internal LED. The Lumectra has a USB-C port and the Spectra Infinity has a micro USB port. One could argue the only thing that's still relevant in the Spectra Infinity controller is the volume dial. Well, that and the satin finish if you go for sheer looks. I think it looks better, but it's not the smartest choice when you're actually playing games. Now that we have both plugged in, laying right next to each other, we can clearly see the differences here, where the Spectra Infinity controller has a button back here for selecting the different LED zones, which is the outer rim, or the upper buttons and joystick, or the D-pad and lower button and joystick. In this one, it has the internal LED settings or the external LED settings. Let's try the internal first. You see this left side blinking, the right side blinking, so those separate zones, the top zone and the lower zone, as we've seen with the other controller. Now, this way you can set up the different colors as you want to. You can cycle through it and then just change it as per your color likings. You can cycle through them, you can increase the brightness, decrease the brightness, all that. And with the bottom one, you can select external LEDs. And I have to say, first things first, that I'm very happy to see the kind of finish that they've come up with here for this LED strip. I've seen some others which are, well, imports from China. There are many of them you can find on the market. Most of them, the cheap ones at least, are just bare strips. You can touch every LED and everything on there. These have a gelatin-like coating. I don't know if you can clearly see that, but it has a coating because of which you can't touch anything. It can't really get rusty or anything in there. You can still cut them though in the designated areas and connect them or reconnect them as you see fit, as with any other LED strip. This is the inline control. It has a power button, so it just jumps right on as a color cycle mode, and this is the color choose mode and the actual mode modes that are on here, either stable or it jumps to different colors like this, or it has a breathing mode. It's this one. Or if you use the sensor and you use your controller, you can change the lights by using the external LED control setup. That is the lower button. Now you can cycle through the different modes. You can change the different colors. What is also really nice is that you use the PowerA HQ gaming app. That way you can just have more control over all your LED settings. And lastly, we want to check out this box featuring the Lumectra 18 feet RGB LED light strip, including a remote control, or so it says. So we're gonna open it up. There we go. A little user manual, probably quite the same. Well, other than it has an AC power connection instead of a USB connection. Here we have the AC plug. Yep, this one goes and connects to the strip. Put this away. Just open this up. And there it comes. And there it is. That's a fancy remote. PowerA brand, of course. Very nice. Supposedly has a CR2025 battery already. That's real good to have, because I don't really have them at hand here. Just release this and then it's functional. So I'm gonna release it just like that. Here we have that same inline control as we just saw with the other strip. Just this one is white. And this is a connector for your LED strip. So even if you have different LED strips, technically you can just plug them in and have them connected that way. Oh, the spool is broken here. That's okay. Here we have the strip connector. You just plug it in. It has that same finish, really nice. Just this one is white instead of the other one being black. Alright, we have a power source. We have the inline set up there. Everything is connected. Here we have our sensor. Let's just see if it works. Let's turn it off. There we go. Turn it on. RGB. That's always nice. And this is color cycle maybe. Oh, that's of course the mode. The breathing. There's the brightness. Have that. And there we go. Now we can just change it with the controller. Cool. Good stuff this. Just take over control with this one again. It's fun. 4 feet, and here we have the white 18 feet. What happens if we turn off? That's right. Should just turn off all of them, and if we just use the controller now, we can synchronize them as well. Lovely stuff. Awesome. And with that, guys, I am signing off. I sincerely hope you've enjoyed today's ride and that you've learned something new today about PowerA's new lineup of accessories under the banner of Lumectra. Today we've also looked at the key differences between the 2021 version, the Xbox Spectra Infinity Controller by PowerA, and the Lumectra controller that's launched just earlier this year. I think there's still a market for both of them, but the Lumectra definitely blazes beyond that because it just has more features and it is more interactive with its surroundings. I, for one, would recommend it to any gamer looking to add a little bit of color in their life or their game room. Whatever way, shape or form you're planning on getting this or not, let me know in the comment section down below. I'm interested to hear your story. Have a great day. Be sure to hit that like button if you've enjoyed today's video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here, and I will see you next time.